Did the research, how they're preparing for nationals, and just pretty much their experiences about with History Day this year and past years, and just maybe give a little tips for the first timers that are going to go to nationals for the first time this year. And to kick us off, we have our very own Rebecca Taylor, who is the director of secondary education programs right here at Connecticut's Old State House, and that includes being the director of Connecticut's History Day. She has been here at the Old State House for 15 years. She used to be the director of education at Connecticut Landmarks. She has a master's in museum studies from the Cooperstown program and an undergraduate from the University of Mary Washington. And now we're very happy to have her moderating today's panel of students. And also later today, she will also be moderating a panel with some History Day alumni and History Day teachers. So please welcome Rebecca Taylor.
Well, thank you, Mariana, and thanks for putting together today's program. It's always my favorite part of the year, getting to travel to nationals. This year we have 60 students who will be going with us. As everyone knows, Connecticut History Day is one of the affiliates of the National History Day program, and it is a program in residence by the Connecticut Democracy Center here at Connecticut's Old State House. This year's theme was Turning Points in History. Students do research, lots of research, as they're going to tell us, and they can work alone or in groups to create a paper, an exhibit, a website, a documentary, or a performance. This year, we had 4,081 students across the state of Connecticut who completed a History Day project. And the students first, those who chose to participate in contests first started at one of our 5 regional contests, won, and then went on to the state contest, and our students going to nationals finished in either first or second place in their particular category. They will be part of almost 2,000 students descending on the University of Maryland next week when we all go to national. So I'm really excited to have a chance to chat with some of the students and highlight some of what they have done. So we have joining us, we have Andrew Doyle and Avishkar Kasilaya, who are from JFK Middle School. They won second place in junior group website. We have Simone Tebow and Amanda Zagnick, who were second place senior group exhibits from E.O. Smith High School. And then we have Aaron Aldrin, who won first place junior individual website from Tilly Edwards Middle School. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come and sit because it feels a little weird to stand over here and talk to everyone and have a little chat with everyone. I want to just say I know we also have in the audience some students who are participating who are going to nationals, so I would invite you to speak up. We're kind of in army here in our History Day trips and getting ready to go to nationals. So to start with, I think for audience members, if everyone wants to tell us what category you competed in and the name of your project.
Alright, so my name is Andrew, and we did junior group website. So my name is Andrew, and we both did junior group website. Our title is Songgram, How the Triumph of the Red Army Turned the Tide of War in the East.
Hi, my name is Aaron Albert, and I'm a user of the Virtual website, and my project is about Werner Kligmacher and his invention of the Cartesian coordinate system.
Hi, my name is Simone. This is Amanda. We're from the senior group exhibit category, and our project is titled "Shoot for the Moon, Land of the Climate: How Earthrise Turned the World on Environmental Advocacy."
Thank you.
Feel free to play your whistles at any time.
Great. So I'm gonna call on Simone and Amanda first, because they're returning students and they've been participating for 5 or 6 years. And so I'm curious to know, and especially with folks who are new to History Day, sometimes you'll working students, it's hard, it's not an easy project. I mean, the fact that you guys have completed this, you've made it to national is amazing. It's not an easy task to do, so what brings you back year after year to National History Day?
So
Winning.
we joke about it, really. We like the academic validation, and people tell us we're good. But realistically, there's a lot of life skills and academic skills that we learn. Teamwork, communication, compromise. Our writing has improved immensely. We see that in school. We just completed AP research, which is essentially just a massive research project. We had a 5,000 word paper. And we struggled with the 5,000 words because we're so used to 500, right? And
Yeah, I think on top of my first year, so I did it in 6th grade, and I remember writing annotations in our annotated bibliography, and I didn't even know what an annotated bibliography was. And so I had to learn how to be like, this source is a secondary source, and then how to elevate that. And it's been really, really cool to see that growth throughout the years. And on top of that, I think we talked about too during COVID. It was a way to get together and to have an excuse to get something done, and we have that social interaction. And so then we just kind of stuck with it too, and become really, really close to it.
So I'm curious for all of our students, as you know, students can choose any kind of topic they want to explore, from local history to national to international. This year's theme was turning points in history. They're meant to be broad. And I'm curious, how did you find your topic? Where did you find it, and what kind of led you to it?
Well, to start off, I think we've always had an interest in World War II. Last year during history, we kind of separated off. We weren't really partners. He did a project on Gandhi and how his movement kind of revolutionized India. So from that, there's some parts in it that coincided with World War II. And I've always had an interest. One of my grandpas, he was an Air Force person. He's obsessed with World War II. So hearing about World War II from him was always fascinating to me. So when it came time for Turning Points in History, we wanted to do a project together. So we just thought of, why don't we do something in World War II? We had our mentor, Mr. Brian Zwodniak, and he helped us find a topic that we could choose, and that's how we found the Battle of Stalingrad.
So I chose my topic because I love mathematics and history. So a topic at the intersection that really piqued my interest. Also, at the time, I was starting to learn about Cartesian coordinates in school in my math class, and it just felt fitting to choose that as a history topic. I love space and Simone does the ocean. So last year we did a topic on a boat and a ship. So the ocean. So this year it's my turn, right? And so we were at the Air and Space Museum last year, and there was just this this massive photo of Earth rising on the wall. And then a few days later, when we found out the theme, we figured it was Earth and it was space. So.
Yeah. So we walked into the Air and Space Museum, and Earthrise is a photo of the Earth rising, quote unquote, over the moon. it was taken on the Apollo 8 mission in 1968 on Christmas Eve. And so we kind of walked into this exhibition and just like Amanda said, we saw like the photo was huge. And so it kind of struck us in the same way that the photo had struck the general public in 1968. And so, yeah, we looked into it further and exactly like she said. And yeah, it was her turn. Although I did twist it to meet with the environmental movement, which is our turning point, so we both won.
Perhaps that exemplifies why you've been partners for so many years. For our students sitting up here, our website and exhibit category participants, how and why did you choose the category that you did? And I think we were talking beforehand that you started off with a different category and changed, so I'm curious to just hear about, since you had 5 to choose from, why did you choose the category that you did?
So, like you said last year, during the team Frontiers in History, we both did websites. So, we're like a knowledge, making a website. And with that, and the topic we picked, we just knew like websites would be the best idea because it's not something we have to start fresh on. So we wouldn't have a lot of, we wouldn't have to waste a lot of time just learning the basics of it. So we decided to make a website.
To add on that, we both had like really good like website experiences. Like we learned a lot from our time during doing Frontiers in History with our websites. So just bringing together our knowledge and combining it into one on how to make a website really like had us like really made us choose a website.
So, the reason why I chose the website was from my love for coding, and I have like a lot of prior experience with coding, such as block coding, JavaScript, and like video and editing, and so that was the reason why I chose the website. And also another reason was it gave me the opportunity to like make almost a story of Descartes' quest, and yeah.
Yeah, so unlike these guys, I'm terrible with technology. I'm horrible at it. So website, documentary, they would out. Paper felt too much like school. Out. Performance, I'm a terrible performer, especially in 6th grade. So that was out. So exhibit was left. And I chose it with a partner I'd worked with for a few years back in 6th grade. And we don't stray from tradition. So it was kind of like once we chose it, we're stuck with it. But also I think like you can talk to about we're visual people. And so I think, especially our topic this year, we were able to physically represent the turning point with a spinning board. And so there's a lot of like plays and like visual puns, I guess, that you can do in an exhibit that you can't do with a lot of other projects, and that's something we like a lot.
I had done a website my first year, and I don't know why I did this. I'm not good with technology. I think I did it because friends did it and they could help me, but it was a bad idea, just all around. And so then the next year when she invited me to work with her and another partner, they were like, oh, we're doing an exhibit. Okay, works for me. And yeah, we don't stray.
That's okay, you find something that works and then stays with it. For someone, I know a lot of our audience are parents and friends who've been through the whole process with everyone, but can you walk someone who might be watching today's program, can you walk them through the experience of creating a project, and what kind of research did you do, what kinds of sources did you use, and where did you go for your research?
Well, to start off, you obviously want to start off with the research. So what me and Abishka did, we kind of divided, because our topic was very like plain and simple. We did like, especially with this year's theme, we did like before, during, and after. So we all like focused on who wants to do before, who wants to do like during the Battle of Stalingrad, who wants to do like the after effects of the Battle of Stalingrad. So like I chose the before, and started working on like the during. But then inside those subtopics, inside those big like before, during, after, we kind of looked at the different subtopics and also divided it up too. So he did like Operation Barbarossa, which was like a big campaign that led to the Battle of Stalingrad. And then I chose the campaign that literally led to the Battle of Stalingrad, Operation Case Blue. So we kind of just divided it up into like, I don't know how to say it, but like we just divided it up, different sections of the research. So we kind of just divided it up. Instead of doing just primary sources and secondary sources, we could focus more on like the before at first, and then the during, and then the after.
Also, like, we were trying to find specific sources, so like you said, ordering after, that was the three, sections we tried to do. And we tried to find archives, or like primary sources specifically, because, it would help more to the research. So archives, we really wanted to find more, but a lot of them were like,
In like German or Russian?
yeah, and it'd be like really hard to translate them, so yeah. And, so the way I went through my research was, first I went to my local public library and I literally checked out every book I could find on the history of math and on Descartes. And then after that, I looked at online sources such as like websites, and yeah, that was also very helpful. Then I did 3 interviews with like PhDs and scholars, and those 3 interviews were also very helpful as they gave me they kind of validated the research I'd done up to that point. But then I also did use different sources such as movies, documentaries, and I also did some podcasts. That gave me even more research. And so Erin, right?
Okay, so just like Erin said, yeah, using different types of sources is been huge. That's kind of what we've learned too throughout the years. Movies, yeah, and videos are huge, and archives, newspapers, anything that you can find, just to get that wide variety of sources. But also something we've learned is a wide variety of perspectives can come through in research, not just in the writing that you have on your board. And so something that we did this year that we kind of just, I don't even know how we thought of it, but we decided to reach out to our local senior center, and then senior centers actually across the country. And we actually went multiple times to our Mansfield Senior Center, and we interviewed just everyday people. We sat down with them, we ate lunch with a couple, and we just talked about their experience in the 60s, what their lives were like, how the Earthrise photo, our topic, and the environmental movement influenced them, or how it didn't influence them. And then we were able to incorporate a lot of what we learned, a lot of those quotes, and even just a new understanding into our project. And so that was something huge too for us. It's perspectives and a wide variety of research doesn't have to come from just an online archive. There's a lot of other methods you can use. I talk a lot.
Great. And so, especially from our multi-year participants, through the History Day process, what kinds of skills have you developed and you feel stronger in after you've completed a project?
So after doing History Day for 2 years now, me and Andrew, we definitely developed the skill of annotating citations, and it was so much easier this year because the skill came really easy. Didn't come easy to us last year. So now that we developed it, we can use it more, and I think that's going to be really important for high school, college, and for
So I feel like I've really developed 2 main skills. One's definitely writing and then public speaking, but I'm really going to be on writing. So in writing, there's the writing in my website, but before writing my website, there's also writing notes when I'm reading, writing what I find from the sources I use. There's also sending emails to the probably hundreds of interviews I got, interviews I sent to, and there was a lot of writing involved. So while there were only 1,200 words in my website, there was probably a lot more than I used for other things.
So we talked a little bit about this earlier, but there's kind of 2 aspects of skills we develop. There's the academic side and also just the life side. So academic-wise, our writing has improved immensely. Our annotations, we get into fights with our teachers about what an annotation is.
Oh, right, I swear.
Not really, but we complain. And
Yeah, concise writing.
okay. Concise writing too has been a huge one that we talked about this year. Earlier, writing 5,000 words is now difficult. Where in the past, because
we're just so focused on cutting words and like, trying to make a coherent argument and how to do that in as few words as possible. I think that also transfers over to other projects. Like I actually did a poster presentation in the class the other day, and the teacher went around to everybody else and was like, oh, you know, you should like have less words in this slide, or you know, use bullet points. And she got to the two of us and she said, wow, this looks great, and moved on. Yes, I did it. And so it's just little things like that that have transferred over from history. And then I think you can talk to the teamwork.
Yeah, so teamwork is huge because we're two different people, we have different opinions, we butt heads sometimes. But the compromise that comes out of that rolls over then into school projects, and we're able to work well in a team as opposed to just like fighting, no, we have to do it this way, we should do it that way. And then communication, public speaking, there's just, we could go on and on about all this stuff.
Thank you. Well, actually, I was just, I've been a coordinator now for 15, maybe 16 years, and I was just emailing with one of our alumni who was getting her PhD in literature, and she is actually, she's in Irish literature, and she did a Irish history time, which she was in History Days, so I was, you might remember Annabelle Berry, the Berries were participating, and so it was great to hear from her, and that she's not only is she using the skill, but she's actually still exploring the topic that she had a passion for. So it's fun to see over the years. And yes, so what everyone said, the skills are developed, and they will help you because I've heard that from alumni time and time again, and our teachers in the audience, I'm sure, have as well. So doing a history project is not easy. It takes lots of perseverance and hard work. Can you tell us about perhaps the most challenging part of creating or researching your project, and how do you overcome that challenge?
I think researching our topic, right, was like definitely the primary sources part of the researching was like the hardest. Me and Vishnu had like hardest challenge we had to face. What he said before, like the archives, like German, Russian archives, it was really a challenge to find like German and Russian perspectives. Like it was easy to find English, French, and American perspectives since they were all like in English and language that we could actually translate. Then when it came to like German and Russian, it was more complicated, so we couldn't like understand the topics as well as we hoped we could. But we persevered and we tried our best to find like newspapers and multiple perspectives through like not just archives, but we definitely went through like the websites, more different like newspapers from like Germany and Russia. We found like interviews from Winston Churchill, Joseph Stalin, and I think we found Hitler.
No, we didn't have a Hitler.
We got one from Winston Churchill. We got one from Harry Truman, President Truman, in 1945 when the war ended. We got a bunch of quotes though, but adding on to what Andrew said about the challenges, definitely finding pictures from battles, because our topic is so battle oriented, and there's not a lot of photographers taking pictures of the actual battles, but there's some famous pictures that we use, like, and you have to go really in depth because you want to convey a point, and you also have to convey points with pictures. It's really hard to do that when you can't find what it is you want, but yeah.
So we definitely found some good like propaganda images from Russia and Germany about like pushing into Russia from like the German side and then kind of defending your country from the Russian side. Quotes are like our big like primary source because we added like a lot of quotes from districts to states because one of the pieces of our feedback was like we need more quotes. So we definitely like dug deep into like newspapers and interviews, and we took more like quotes out of there and put them into our website.
So similar to Andrew and Mishkar's issue, like my main issue was I couldn't find that many like sources as well. My topic is entirely traction oriented, and so while they could find sources who couldn't translate them, I just couldn't find any in the basic sources like JSTOR and Library of Congress, and so I had to like use a different source. It's called Gallica. It's like the French equivalent of Library of Congress, and that really helped me overcome that. But another issue I had was in the influence part of our website, I talk about how Descartes influenced later mathematicians like Isaac Newton and Gottfried Leibniz, but their math is calculus, and I couldn't really understand calculus at my grade level, so I sort of focused on the history rather than the mathematics, and yeah, and I also had a couple of questions at the beginning, like Descartes, when he was a kid, was a sickly child, as I mentioned, I think I mentioned it in my website. He couldn't get out of bed until like 11 o'clock because he had like an issue with his body. And then later in his life, he joined the military. So, questions like that, I answered them over the course of the project through some mostly Descartes roles, such as soldier, philosopher, and more.
Yeah, I think I kind of covered it, but I think doing this for 6 years, I've learned a lot about finding resources, because I think in the past we did like Mark Twain and imperialism views one year, and there's just not a lot of sources on some of these topics, especially you guys have like really cool and international topics. So it can be very difficult to find out, and so we've learned a lot about how to go about this, and you kind of start out just doing a simple Google search, like, oh no, I can't find anything. And then just like you guys have said, you start to really learn how to use archives and how to use different websites, and even in-person archives to find what you needed. But then also just with an exhibit, do you want to talk? If you want me to talk, all right, I'll talk. A little bit about spacing too. Because with an exhibit, especially with the resources that just we have available to us, we can't necessarily just put our exhibit is spinning, and it's a massive rectangle, wooden thing. So it's not exactly easy to just lie down and lay out all of your information, which like on a website or on some other mediums you can. And so one of our biggest challenges, especially this year, with having a ton of information, is trying to lay it out and figure out how it's going to look, how we want it to look, and then making that happen without having anything physically in front of you. So you're looking at a computer, you're like, oh, it says 4 inches, but neither of us know what that means. So then trying to figure out how it's going to space out in your actual exhibit. And with limited time, we're building our entire exhibit this week, so we'll see how it goes. But we definitely learned a lot.
I think just a final challenge for us especially, it's our junior year of high school, so SATs, AP classes, we both do a sport in the fall, so just finding the time to get together when there's no homework, no AP tests, and actually sit down and work on the project is just another challenge that we definitely have to overcome. And when we do have time to make time, we make one this year, it's good.
So, for those of you, some of you have done it for several years, some newer, what advice would you give to someone who is new to History Day, who's participating for the first time? And why, sometimes students will hear about the honor work and they're like, no, I don't want to do that. So how would you overcome that reluctance? Why did you encourage them to participate?
Never put in all your sources that annotate. It's terrible. Annotate always.
Yeah, my main thing is don't procrastinate. That's the biggest thing. Like last year, I was not I was just not really. I was always procrastinating. So like the day before my website was due, I did like the other half of my website on that day. It was not fun. So I would not procrastinate. That's my big thing.
So for advice, I'd say, first of all, when you're researching, cast like a wide net. As I mentioned earlier, I use movies, podcasts, documentaries. Don't just go to like books. Like at first, I just thought I should go to the local public library, and I told you I took every book I could find that related to my topic. So I thought that'd be enough. But when I realized that most of it was like really the same stuff over and over again, I realized I had to find more and more sources. So you should cast a wide net. And also maybe for websites, the tool is kind of hard if you've never used it before. So you should get like an early start on it.
MHP Web Central. It's like, it was super confusing for me at first. And like, it took me at least a week just to get used to it. And so, yeah, those were really nice.
We were talking about this last night, and we just kept going on and on. But definitely, one of the biggest things is to get feedback and be receptive to that feedback. One of the things, so we came to high school after having a wonderful support system at MS with Mr. Smith over there, and there was nothing, nobody knew about it, and it was kind of just us on our own. So we had to gather this group of teachers who were willing to give us feedback, but didn't really know what they were doing. And so they would give us the feedback and we'd take it, but because they didn't necessarily have the judges, when we got to the competition, would say we're missing this, we're missing that. And so over time, we built up that support system, and then I was able to give us the feedback that we need.
Yeah, adding on to that, to not being scared to reach out. I think this year we have gathered pretty much everybody in our community to read our project. I shared with my dad this morning, like everybody has seen this project, everybody's gonna read it. And we just want to make sure that it can be the best it can be. But I think also working in a group, this is working in a group for 6 years now. Like being open to each other's ideas, I think it's huge. This also comes from being feedback and like being able to bounce ideas off of each other. And I think too, like you guys were individual last year, and then I don't know, to be able to bounce those ideas and work in a group and be able to kind of collaborate. It ends up being a better project in my opinion. I think the individual projects are probably better than ours, but that's not the point. You can, like for us, it's worked really, really well to be able to have somebody else to be a sounding board. Because I would never, ever be able to do an individual project. I admire you guys so much.
Well, I'm sure we'll have a lot of great memories at the national contest. We always have a lot of fun. But so far, what has been your highlight of your Connecticut History Day participation?
I think my highlight of being part of Connecticut History Day is just being at like the contests. They've always been like so fun, being able to walk around like UConn campus, CCSU campus, being able to hang out with my partner or all the other people that are participating from my school, being able to hang out with them, seeing their project is always been like a really good memory of mine.
I think the highlight of doing like the contest is definitely when you're in the auditorium with like a bunch of your friends. If you have like a program for MHP and you hear like the awards and every single time you're always praying your friend gets it, you get like the award like if you go to states. I think that's my highlight. I was like wish like, oh, is he gonna go? Is he gonna go there? Is she gonna go there? And I think that's like I think that's a highlight for me.
So I remember like last year when my parents told me to enjoy a journey. I think it was for like a project called Connection Convention. They told me to enjoy the journey and just not care about winning. And I didn't really care. I just thought about winning. I didn't win. And so this year when I did History Day, the main thing I focused on was the journey, like the journey of starting with the preparation, then the creation of my website, then presentation to the judges and to many groups of people. That was the real highlight. And so I'm gonna go like a little bit depth into each of those. So preparation, like it's like really just my researching there, and so that researching, like I said earlier, like I talked about it earlier, I found every book in my public library, and then also the practical wide net that I also mentioned. So overall, the research helped me like into the next phase creation. All that research that I've done before starting my creation was helpful, but like I said, it took a week to get used to the tool. So the creation was really just the organization of my
website, starting from like small things like the color I chose to the big things like the organization. I don't know if you've seen my website, but I organized it using what I call like 5 eyes. Like started with investigation, interaction, invention, influence, and impact. And so then presentation was not only presenting it to the History Day judges, but also presenting it to friends and family, and also presenting it here today. So thank you for this opportunity. And then I also have another thing to raise money for nationals, like next week, Friday, raise money for the other kids in my school who are going to nationals in need. I'm going to be presenting my project again, thanks to my teacher, Mr. Strickmore. So, yeah.
So cool. So I think for me, doing this for a long time too, every time that you're at the state contest, the regional contest, the national contest too, you get to make friends throughout the day, throughout the week. And you really get to know the people at the state contest. We made a couple of friends and we learn all about their project, their lives, their research. And then when you're sitting there, kind of like Ms. Carr was talking about, in the auditorium, and you're listening, oh, I hope it's my friend. And then when it is, it's so rewarding because everybody just kind of feels connected. Like you feel like you have a community in that moment. And so you really get to cheer on people that you would never ever get to meet otherwise. And you're genuinely excited for them. And I think, just getting to share that is really cool.
Well, they've kind of covered all my favorite parts, but also I think just getting to spend time with my partner and our friendship is really grown. Because like we get together over the summer and we just kind of sit there. We don't really have anything to do because all we do is history. And so it's those nights where it's like 9 o'clock, we're at her house, we're both exhausted, but the competition is tomorrow. We have to get this done. And those are probably some of the best memories.
Great. I do know that we have some other folks in the audience. Mariana, would you be my microphone person? I think it's great to see familiar faces and new faces. So if you're going to nationals and you want to raise your hand and just introduce yourself and what your project was and the category. Yeah, and any experience that you want to share, any highlights at the end.
Hello everyone, my name is Seymour. I did a junior group documentary this year with my partner Sarah Elshadini, and our project is about the discovery of Germany.
We're your sisters. We did participate, and we were going to nationals for Lowell, but we got third place in junior group upset on Samra Hassan and my partner Samila Hassan. And our project was about the discovery of anesthesia.
Hi, my name is Karen, and I did a junior individual website for the minor master that changed the course of my life.
Anybody else? Okay. Well, we're kind of coming to the end of our time together. I guess it's Simone and Amanda, if you've gone, I'm sorry, I'm always calling you guys, since you've gone to nationals before, what advice would you give to first timers?
So kind of like Simone was talking about earlier, and we were talking about this with the record earlier too. Once you get there, there's not really much you can do for your project. You can look around and think, oh wow, this seems great, I wish I had done that. But at that point, essentially what you have is what you have. So don't be competitive, don't be mean, oh, your project's awesome. Make friends, trade the buttons that they give you. It's some of the best memories, some of the best people you can try. And then you can cheer for those people when they win, or they'll cheer for you if you win. And that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think not worrying about it once you get there. That's something I have to learn. I think, especially like regional college days, I'm like, oh my god, I have to do everything. And it's like, okay, well, our project's already done, it's here, like, there's nothing we can do. So just really enjoy the moment, enjoy the week. We got to make a lot of friends last year, and then we saw our friends win. And yeah, just speaking to that, it's really, really cool. and especially doing all of the different activities, like getting involved, being with CPHD, and yeah, just make friends, enjoy the experience, because I know we're getting out of school a week early, so enjoy the free time.
But we're learning what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
So, I want to thank everyone for coming. And I think our last question for everyone, which is, what are you most looking forward to at the national contest, other than you getting out of school? Which is fun too.
So I'm personally really looking forward to being in a dorm room because my brother, he's been to college, so he's been at college for 3 years because COVID was 1 year, and he always talks about like the dorm rooms, and whenever I go in there, it feels like, I don't know, it feels like there's like a feeling I get, and I really want to be in a dorm room, so that's gonna be like a real highlight for that.
Yeah, so dorm room is gonna, because I'm gonna be dorming with him for a couple days, so that's gonna be like really exciting. But then also be able to like go into Washington DC and be able to go around to all the different museums, like the African American Museum, the Holocaust Museum. It's gonna be really fun.
So, I'm excited for two things, really. The first thing I'm excited for is presenting my work to the judges as I've been working on it for like the past 9 months. So, like, just the chance to present it at a national level, like, just thinking on it, I made it to a country level of presenting, just that feeling is nice. And also, I'm excited to immerse myself in other people's projects, like, getting to see all the other amazing projects, and they've also done well enough to make nationals, so.
Yeah, just like Erin said, last year being a nationals in person for the first time, we got to walk around and see a lot of the other exhibits, and we incorporated so many of the things that we saw in those projects. Junior, senior, even like documentaries, websites, you get to incorporate aspects of all of those projects into your own. And so I think I'm most looking forward to next year will be our last year. And so getting to like go out and bang and learn as much as we can so we can make our last project the best that it possibly can be. And everything Simone said, looking at all the other projects is just a fantastic experience. You don't realize that you're learning and you're getting ideas for next year. You are. And that reflects in the project that we made, the project that other people have made this year. And making friends and getting out of school early.
Well, nationals is my favorite time of the year because I get to know students and teachers and parents because I'm not running the contest, I'm a worker bee. So it's really wonderful and I'm looking forward to it. And I just want to ask our audience to just give a huge round of applause to our students up here, our students in the audience. And let's go Team Connecticut. Since Congresswoman Delore just declared that even what was it, the pizza capital, we're having a pizza slice with us. So we have a little break before our next panel. And so I'd invite some of our students to bring their projects that are up. There are a lot of websites. So I'd invite you to take a look at our project, chat with some of the students, and enjoy some refreshments.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, everybody. You guys are amazing, like incredible.
Okay, so everybody, yes, please feel free to grab some snacks, some coffee, restrooms are downstairs if you need them. Do check out all the projects that were brought today. We will reconvene at 1:30 for the next panel, which will feature some History Day teachers and History Day alumni. And after that, you're welcome to join us for a tour of the Old State House, which is based on the theme of this year's annual theme of History Day, turning points in history. So I hope you'll be able to join us for that, but please do enjoy the food and the projects. Thank you for coming.
Sciences